Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's that time again for some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the video, man, I need y'all's help to continue to unplug more and more people out of the Matrix. And you do that by smashing the like button and putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section, man. That lets me know y'all unplugged from the Matrix, all right? And if you're new, come on, what you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family and check these videos out with us. Let's go.
From a cosmic glitch to oddly shaped galaxies, all the way to some of the most enduring mysteries of the universe. Here is part 2 of the top 10 terrifying signals from space NASA is hiding. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have PSR B0943+10. Pulsars are rotating neutron stars emitting regular pulses of radiation, and they have long captivated astronomers with their very precise cosmic metronomes. But in 2011, a particularly eccentric pulsar, the one I just named, challenged established understanding and left scientists scratching their heads. Located approximately 3,000 light years away, this is no ordinary pulsar. Instead of maintaining a steady, predictable pattern of radiation, it displays a very perplexing behavior. Without warning, it spontaneously switches between emitting radio waves and X-ray emissions. This erratic mood swing bewilders scientists. Standard models of pulsar behavior were based on the idea that radio wave and X-ray emissions were tied to different periods in a pulsar's life, not that a pulsar could switch between them at will. PSR B0943+10's unpredictable switches happening over mere seconds shatters this belief. Despite being discovered in the 60s, it wasn't until 2011 that this pulsar's unusual trait was detected, demonstrating that even familiar celestial bodies can surprise us. This pulsar's peculiar behavior provides a very unique window into neutron star physics, challenging our knowledge and understanding of these celestial lighthouses. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Galactic Center radio signal. In 2013, astronomers turned their attention closer to home, or more accurately our galactic home, the Milky Way. Detected by the New Star Space Telescope, an unexplained signal emanated from the center of our galaxy, a region dominated by the gravitational behemoth, the supermassive black hole Sagittarius A. This unusual signal, detected in the radio wave spectrum, posed several intriguing questions. Was it perhaps a signal from a previously undiscovered celestial body, or some unforeseen interaction of known cosmic objects? Or could it be an indication of dark matter, the elusive substance that makes up about 85% of the universe's mass? Well,
or if you like me and you think a small percentage of a black hole is like a gateway to another dimension, and maybe we caught a signal trying to travel through that gateway. Maybe that could be what it is. A small percentage of me thinks that, what a black hole is.
The elusive substance that makes up about 85% of the universe's mass. While the nature and source of this galactic center radio signal remain undetermined, it underscores the cosmic riddles that surround us, even in our own galactic backyard. Whether we're probing the distant reaches of our universe or exploring our own galaxy's heart, these celestial signals remind us that our universe continues to be a grand puzzle, offering more questions than answers. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Orphan Afterglow. In the cosmic theater, the year 2019 marked a peculiar detection that challenged the norm. Astronomers using the Chandra X-ray Observatory observed a unique phenomenon, an X-ray burst that was strikingly alone, without its usual precursor, a gamma-ray burst. The cosmic enigma was dubbed an Orphan Afterglow. Typically, gamma-ray bursts, the most energetic explosions in the universe, precede X-ray bursts. These gamma-ray events often indicate the birth of a black hole or a neutron star, and the subsequent X-ray afterglow is the lingering echo of this cataclysmic event. However, the Orphan Afterglow seemed to defy this established pattern. The solitary X-ray burst appeared without a detectable gamma-ray burst, sparking curiosity and speculation among the scientific community. What could have caused such an event? Was it merely that the gamma-ray burst was directed away from Earth, or were there alternative processes at play? In our number 7 spot today, we have the Vela pulsar glitch. In the cosmos, even the most predictable celestial bodies can sometimes throw astronomers a bit of a curveball. This was the case in 2000 with the Vela Pulsar, a pulsar that, despite being one of the most observed and best studied, presented an unexpected event that left astronomers scratching their heads. The event, fittingly termed a glitch, saw the pulsar suddenly rotating faster than it usually did. Located about 1,000 light-years away in the Vela constellation, the Vela Pulsar is a type of neutron star that emits regular beams of electromagnetic radiation out into space. Since its discovery in 1968, it has become one of the most watched celestial objects due to its regularity, allowing scientists to predict its rotations with impressive accuracy. However, in 2000, this predictable rhythm was abruptly disrupted. The Vela Pulsar experienced an unexpected acceleration in its rotation. While this pulsar is known to quote-unquote glitch every 3 years or so, the 2000 event was noteworthy due to its scale. The sudden spin-up was larger and more dramatic than anything observed previously, leading to much speculation and study. This intriguing event challenged existing theories about pulsar glitches and their internal structure. Despite decades of observation, the Vela Pulsar reminded us that the universe still has countless mysteries to be unraveled. In our number 6 spot today, we have the Green Bank Telescope FRB. In 2012, the vast expanse of our cosmos spoke once again, this time with a signal captured by the Green Bank Telescope, located in West Virginia in the United States. The signal wasn't a gentle whisper, but a bold, intense burst of radio waves, a fast radio burst, or an FRB. FRBs are brief yet powerful blasts of radio waves that—
What if that's them asking for help? What if they figured out a way to communicate with us to ask for help? What do we do in that situation?
come from distant parts of the cosmos, lasting only a few milliseconds. The source of the Green Bank Telescope FRB, much like other FRBs, remains an enigma. These fast radio bursts, due to their brevity and unpredictable nature, have been notoriously difficult to trace back to their origin, and this one was no exception. Since their first detection in 2007, FRBs have posed a significant challenge to astronomers. What cosmic phenomena could generate such powerful yet fleeting signals? Theories range from highly magnetized neutron stars to extragalactic civilization. The Green Bank Telescope FRB added another layer to this cosmic mystery, an enigma still being explored and deciphered by scientists across the globe. In our number 5 spot today, we have Tabbys Star. This star, which has also been referenced as the WTF star, is an F-type main sequence star which is located in the constellation Cygnus, about 1,470 light-years away from Earth. This star is of particular importance because of the fact that it shows unusual light shifts, which includes a 22% dimming in brightness. Basically, from our point of view,
is that a star or a hole? If you step back and look, you can kind of see both. Okay, it looks like a star, but at the same time, it looks like a hole entry to something else.
Shifts, which includes a 22% dimming in brightness. Basically, from our point of view, something continually blocks the star, and it likely isn't a planet, because a Jupiter-sized planet would only block about 1% of a star the size of this one. So what could it possibly be? There are a few theories out there surrounding this anomaly, but none are able to fully explain what is happening here. Some believe that it is some sort of uneven ring of dust orbiting the star, and others believe that the star's luminosity fluctuates depending on the efficiency of the heat being transported to its photosphere. These are just two of the theories surrounding this star, but there are many more out there, and at this point, we just don't know. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Black Widow Pulsar. Unveiling the drama of the cosmos, our universe revealed an intense astronomical spectacle in 1988. Astronomers detected a fascinating object, a pulsar known as the Black Widow Pulsar, or PSR B1957+20. Pulsars are neutron stars, remnants of supernova explosions characterized by emitting regular beams of radiation as they spin. However, the Black Widow Pulsar stands out from its kin due to a unique and somewhat macabre characteristic. Located approximately 6,500 light-years away from Earth in the constellation of Sagittarius, this pulsar is locked in a destructive cosmic dance with its companion star. As they revolve around each other, the pulsar's intense gravitational pull and radiation are steadily vaporizing its unfortunate partner. The process resembles a venomous black widow spider consuming its mate, hence the name. The pulsar's companion, initially comparable in mass to our sun, is now merely a tenth of that, stripped away by the relentless energy of the black widow. The radiation emitted from this process is intense and rhythmic, like a cosmic lighthouse casting regular signals into the depths of space. Despite the seemingly predatory nature of the black widow pulsar, it provides astronomers with an exceptional opportunity to study the effects of extreme gravity and radiation on stellar bodies. This astronomical phenomenon encapsulates the sheer power, violence, and strange beauty of the universe, reminding us of the dynamic and often brutal processes at play in the cosmos. In our number 3 spot today, we have Hogues Object. Okay, so there are different shapes to galaxies. That's not the weirdest thing in the world. You know that we live in a spiral-shaped one. It's beautiful. There are other galaxies called ellipticals that are more like oval shapes, but one galaxy in particular, which is now called Hogues Object, is truly like none we've ever seen. Just realizing, how do we get a name like the Milky Way and then they get a name like Hogues Object? Just would be a horrible name for a galaxy. This galaxy has a yellow core, and this core is surrounded by an outer ring of blue stars that are much younger than the core, but in the middle between the two, there's just nothing, and researchers are completely stumped as to how it could have formed. The galaxy was first discovered in the 1950s, and since then, there is one leading theory as to how it could have been formed, but it still isn't concrete. Basically, the leading theory suggests that perhaps a small galaxy sped through a larger disc-shaped galaxy, which then created this bizarre situation. But the problem with this theory is that there are no signs of any nearby galaxies that could have served as the sort of bullet in this scenario. If that happened, it also would have sped up the core of Hogues Object, but we can observe it as moving quite slowly, so that also rules out this theory. There have been other galaxies discovered that have
It looks like an eye, doesn't it? Like, it gives off like an appearance of an eye, like it's watching you, like that galaxy's watching you. I don't know. Weird. It's like I've entered like the Twilight Zone with this one.
Similar characteristics to this one, but none share all the qualities seen in this very bizarre galaxy. In our number 2 spot today, we have the Mysterious Gap. A new analysis by scientists at MIT of ancient meteorites found something new and very interesting. In the early solar system, there was what is referred to as a protoplanetary disk of dust and gas that rotated around the sun, and eventually it coalesced into the planets that we all know and love today. So this new study and analysis suggests that a sort of mysterious gap existed within this disk somewhere around 4.567 billion years ago, and it was in an area near where the asteroid belt is today. The reason this gap is mysterious is because it isn't quite clear what the cause of this gap was. There are a few possibilities, including Jupiter, during the time when it began to take its shape. Because of its extremely large gravitational pull, it could have pushed gas and dust towards the outskirts, which then would leave a gap in the developing disk. There are other possibilities, but regardless of whatever caused this gap, it is said to have likely served as a cosmic boundary that kept material on either side from interacting with each other. And finally, in our number 1 spot today, we have shooting stars. Okay, so we often look to the night sky in an attempt to see a shooting star, and the chances might be pretty good depending on how light polluted the area is. I mean, either that or you're seeing one of the Starlink satellites, but either way, we know that shooting stars aren't really stars at all, and are instead meteors burning up as they quickly move through Earth's atmosphere. But what if I told you that there really are some shooting stars that are actually stars? Hypervelocity stars were discovered by astronomers in 2005, and it is thought that they occur or form when a binary star system, or a star system that has 2 stars, gets destroyed by a black hole. One of the stars in the system will usually fall into the black hole, which may just send the other one flying across space as fast as millions of miles per hour. It's definitely not the same thing that we think of when we think of shooting stars, but it definitely is quite the galactic event. Alright guys, that has been our list for today.
So stars can also pretty much implode or collapse or explode and form black holes. And also black holes are gravitated towards stars, and it's almost like they're swallowing them, like Miss Pac-Man or something, just eating the stars. Like, there's something we're missing as far as connection. They may have already figured out and just haven't said anything to us, but I think it's a connection there that we need to try to figure out between black holes and stars and what's going on, what's transpiring. That's what we need to kind of look at if we haven't already.
The ancient Egyptians. Probably the most famous ancient civilization of them all. Extensively researched, excavated, and documented. The archaeological data collected and cataloged regarding this mysterious ancient people far exceeds any other. A worldwide fascination with a group who flourished at the feet of some of the most amazing and yet baffling structures on Earth, attributed with their construction, yet it is difficult to see just how or why they did not document such a monumental task. A civilization whose lifeblood, whose most precious and valued jewel was not bought with money or even made of gold. It was a river, the Nile. The ancient Egyptians were a highly advanced group, and they shared an affinity with water manipulation, a possible clue to the construction of the pyramids.
Look at that water wheel. Go back.
Manipulation.
I'm guessing that's what this is.
A possible
yeah, that's got to be what it is.
Clue to the construction of the pyramids.
Work by water and water pump. Yeah, they were smart.
Although the Jewel of the Nile is known by most as nothing but a fictional motion picture, there does actually exist a thing, an instrument, which the Egyptians undoubtedly held in a similar regard to the giant green emerald sought within the film. Known as the Nileometer, thousands upon thousands of people from all over the world visit Egypt each year, and nearly all overlook this once most invaluable of instruments. Between June and September, in a season the Egyptians called Akhet, high within the Ethiopian mountains, enormous volumes of snow which had accumulated throughout the long winter melts with the quickly changing seasons, sending a torrent of water into ancient Egypt, causing the banks of the river to burst, overflowing onto the flat desert plains. Amazingly, the Egyptians had figured out that by measuring this forceful annual flooding of the surrounding lands, they could accurately predict the following year's crop. During the flooding of the Nile, rich fertile silts brought down from high within the Ethiopian mountains are dumped upon the land. This silt was then used by the farmers that year to grow the crops for Egypt. By measuring the amount of floodwater, they could accurately tell how much plant food would be available throughout the year, therefore being able to foresee the possible onset of a famine many months in advance. This, of course, absent one of the curses of Egypt, or more precisely, locusts. The Nileometer not only measured the height of the floodwaters, but also their clarity. If it wasn't for this invaluable tool, the ancient Egyptian culture would never have flourished to such a degree. Clearly an extremely important tool, which not only indicates their in-depth knowledge of natural cycles, but indicated a strong affinity to water. Technological methods of lifting heavy objects may have been possible with the use of water. By manipulating the fact that it is a liquid, an acquisition of in-depth knowledge of, quote, containing and draining, end quote, given time, one could have undoubtedly created wooden machines capable of lifting many weights in many ways. Regardless of these studies, the Nileometer is a remarkable contraption, and one which clearly deserves more attention. A number of people who frequent our work have requested a more detailed video regarding one of the mysteries we so often focus upon here on the channel. There are many sites that we feel are deserving of in-depth focus. Our mission has always been to enlighten those who may not have been aware of the many different, compelling, and often controversial realities surrounding countless ancient ruins that throughout their lives have been explained away with a lie. Undoubtedly, the most well-known, most commonly explored, and thus the ruin most suited for our viewers' acquirement of a knowledge armory is Giza. Indeed, there are many people you will meet throughout your life that will have delved into the mysteries of Egypt. However, this experience, unbeknownst to them, may have been fraught with a limited, illogical, academic account regarding the history of Giza's plateau. This video, then, is our gift to our viewer, to prove to all those who act like they know it all how little they actually do. The characteristics of the casing stones are undoubtedly one of our own most noted achievements. We feel little, if any, notice has been given to the facts we have realized regarding these stones. Yet the evidence we have found will remain clear for all to see. These casing stones, although of an enormous size, and as such were left by a lost civilization, are far younger than the sandstone in which they encase. Most of these casing stones, unfortunately robbed out during invasions within the last few centuries, are protecting stones which are actually far more eroded and thus far older beneath. However, additionally, we began to wonder just how old could the Great Pyramids be? Could these eroding sandstones actually be concealing a far larger, far older structure beneath? Also discovered here on our channel, the supporting evidence to this hypothesis, most notably along the east side of Khufu and in numerous other places where the smaller sandstones have been robbed out, is, as we suspected, a far larger exoskeleton. We strongly believe these enormous megalithic blocks that we have previously estimated to be many hundreds of tons in weight are actually the original oldest blocks of the pyramids. We also believe that the more modern, currently recognized casing stones were actually inspired by these more heavily eroded, smaller sandstone blocks, now concealing these mammoth megaliths. This makes the layers we believe that adorn the Great Pyramid numbers 3, with the 2 more modern layers being conservation efforts, undoubtedly undertaken at vastly different times within history. Just how old is the Great Pyramid? Just how impressive was ancient Egypt? For example, the oldest surviving obelisk at Heliopolis, and therefore in Egypt, was undeniably cut, transported, and lifted into position at an unknown time in history, using now lost technology and knowledge. It is a stone 20 meters in height, weighing an astonishing 121 tons. And this enormous, unexplainable, impossible monolith—
I need to hear it. I need to hear the theories. How did they hoist that up? How did they lift that up? I know they had numbers, a massive amount of people, but I still just can't see it with just people alone. You know what I mean? People and pulley systems. I just can't see it. I need other theories to help me visualize this in my mind of how they got this hoisted up and to stand up in place like this.
Is not the only one left upon the plateau. There are many more dotted all over Giza. For example, the sarcophagus of Amenemhet III, a pair of quartzite monoliths discovered in the early 20th century, hang above this supposed tomb. These gigantic stones effortlessly support the weight above, each estimated to weigh 110 metric tons. The Colossi of Memnon, these 2 gigantic artworks, were built from single pieces of stone. They are orientated toward the sun.
That's impressive. Single piece of stone, and they turned it into that. Obviously, it probably looked a lot different back then when they were finished with it, but water erosion over time and the weather hitting it and everything like that has it looking like this, but it's still unbelievable at this stage. You know what I mean? I imagine what it looked like back then, but still at this age, it's just beautiful to see. You know what I mean? And they did it out of a single piece of stone. Mind blowing.
Rise at winter solstice, estimated to weigh anywhere from 600 to 1,000 tons each. Modern technology allows for the movement of such weights. However, any civilization claimed by academia actually once being responsible for the transportation of such stones is absurd.
So maybe that other monument that we talked about earlier was done in place like that. A single piece of stone, it was just created and sculpted to look like it was. Maybe it wasn't hoisted up or anything like that.
Could have possibly transported such enormous stones to these locations. Not only transported them,
but
worked them into masterpieces they once were, disposing of all waste, presumably also weighing many tons. And there are many others, in the temple east of Khafra's pyramid, for example. There lay blocks regularly, yet quietly estimated to weigh over 400 tons. How can modern academia claim such tasks were undertaken by our modern ancestors? Anyone aware of the true accomplishments involved in the construction of the Giza Plateau must now see this hypothesis as severely lacking any satisfactory explanations. Mortuary Temple of Menkaure still possesses some astonishing unexplained feats. There are some estimates of the blocks within the temple, most notably within the surviving walls of the mortuary, weighing as much as 220 tons. The heaviest granite ashlars, imported from Aswan Quarry many miles away, weighing in at more than 30 tons. There are many incredible, inexplicable features upon the Giza Plateau. Many of them, unfortunately, yet predictably, little shared academically. Yet it remains a place of invaluable existent truths, many discrediting that which are passed off as current academic fact. Giza is an astonishing place, and the one we feel most likely to expose academia once and for all. It is a plateau we find highly compelling.
Yeah, I hope they continue to expose a lot of the BS they've been trying to feed us and tell us and brainwash us with. Nah, they were intelligent, highly intelligent, in the way they did things, went about things, created things, sculpted things, crafted things. Like, they were intelligent, man, and we continue to see it. It's continuously put on display for us to see it. So y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought of these videos. All right, and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.